All right, Alec, how's it going?
My life is different now.
We're
I've
about to embark on this perilous journey.
Oh my gosh. Um,
Hmm.
okay. So yeah, you can see the title. We went and saw the best movie of 2020 so far.
So far, it's the only one I've. Wait, actually, yeah, it is the only one I've seen so far,
Yeah,
so it's up
yeah.
there.
So yeah,
It's cracked my top
it's way up.
10.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this movie is already a box office failure.
It's
Um,
good to hear.
it's yeah, it is kind of good to hear because what hubris,
uh,
what decadence. Robert Downey Jr. was an executive producer on this film, by the way.
ooh.
Um,
Oh.
and
Well, I was telling my brother, I'm like, I'm glad he doesn't play Iron Man anymore, so we can get to see him in roles like this. Ooh.
here's the thing. This movie's actually been done for like over a year. They were planning on releasing it in I want to say in May originally, May 2019, but it was at that point in the release schedule, it was competing with Star Wars because Star Wars was originally going to come out in May, like back a long time ago.
Hmm.
And then they changed that to December. But they also changed it, and I think they changed it to like December, and then they were like, "Oh wait, Star Wars is coming out. Let's put it in January. Dump him in January. No one cares about January because
Well,
January is the studio dump whatever we got month because no one goes to see movies in January.
do we
So
want to do spoiler free and then spoilers?
I don't think it really matters for this movie. Really, the more interesting stuff is I would think towards the end, where it kind of goes completely insane at the end of the film.
I was deeply disturbed by this movie
I yeah
on multiple levels.
yeah. So don't go see this movie. Don't waste your money like we did. I went and saw a matinee and I still felt like I kind of wasted my money.
I uh
Um,
I went with my brother and it was just us and two other people in the theater. It was great.
so my theater was actually semi-packed. I don't want to say it was
Wow.
packed because it was probably only like half full, but I was surprised about how many people were there.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
what didn't really surprise me, or I guess maybe it should have, considering it seemed to me that the audience was skewing towards it was families basically. I was probably the only single guy that went and saw this movie. It was probably just like a bunch of it sounded like it was like a bunch of older folks and their kids basically.
Hmm.
Um, and I gotta tell you this, there was not very much laughing in this movie. None of the kids were not laughing. I wasn't laughing. I didn't laugh one time throughout this
I,
entire
I
movie.
laughed at a couple parts where it was just so outrageous. I was like, oh Jesus. I was
Yeah.
just
Well,
like,
I mean, yeah, that's I mean, yeah, I mean towards the end it does get like looking back, it is like laughably bad and out there. Um
I lashed at that freaking kid. We just like he just responded with like a dumb smile and said nothing else at a couple of parts. He was like, "That's
it's just
enraged."
like, are you getting nothing out of this kid? um okay, so basic rundown. Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Dolittle, who is an early 20th century literary character. He was the author, wrote a bunch of books about this kind of quirky professor, and he can talk to animals, and so he goes on all these crazy adventures and stuff. And I've actually never really read any of the books. This kind of makes me want to read them to see how much better they are. This, because I feel like the concept is really there. The idea of
Yeah,
like a really interesting children's story is there. And so that to me is the most intriguing part. Um, so in this movie, the Queen Victoria, I guess. So I actually came in a little late. I was like maybe like 2 or 3 minutes late. So I came killing a squirrel or something that the boy seemed to have shot or something, I guess.
yeah,
Is that what happened?
yeah. He,
And
he
so
shot a squirrel when he was a
okay. Oh
hunter. His douche hunter father. He's like, you're a hunter. You shoot things. Well, you're a freak. Actually, loving animals. Look at that.
yeah.
Look at that freak over there. He's like, he doesn't want to kill things.
Yeah, that was I see. I didn't see that. The part that I came in on was Robert Downey Jr. was like in the middle of, or they all the animals were like bringing the squirrel to him, and it was like all this whole like sequence of stuff happening. Um,
Hmm.
and so then so yeah, so I guess Queen Victoria is like ill and she's like dying, and they need Doctor Dolittle to come in
You need
and heal her
him.
per her request. She specifically requests a veterinarian apparently to come in and see to her well-being, and he's able to identify it using his animal companions. Oh, it's this poison. It's
Yeah.
the and you can only cure it by this thing, and so they have to go on this grand adventure. This
We must
grand
embark
aimless
on a perilous journey.
that is completely aimless and paced horribly.
Ugh.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't
it's
even like the journey, and I didn't. It was
no.
like the whole basis of this journey is you have to save the Queen of England. Wow, that's really is a really epic story, and it's like
So
there's a lot of
so
payoff from him. His tragic loss of his
wife,
beloved wife, like
yeah,
where it's like you just call back to it a couple of times, and then you have to
yeah,
his father as a tiger or her father as a tiger and whatnot.
yeah. Who I didn't even realize was played by Antonio Banderas until the credits were
I
up.
didn't. Yeah,
I
I
was
didn't
like,
either.
what? I was like, I didn't think that was anything like him, but apparently, I mean, it was.
Some of
There
the
you go.
voice actors I didn't know about either.
Yeah.
Who was the voice actor for the gorilla?
Oh. Yeah. I was surprised
He
when
was
I
someone
saw
big
that.
because I remember commenting during the movie. He's like, "I hate that voice for that gorilla," it was like,
I don't. I can't remember.
but it was like a big
Okay, not
name.
like it. No, it was a fairly big name. Yeah. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Oh, and Selena Gomez was a voice in here too. I'm like, what the heck?
Yes, Selena Gomez was in there. I didn't recognize her at all.
I didn't recognize it like any of
Um,
them.
oh, it's Rami Malek.
Rami Malek,
Rami
yes.
Malek was. I was like, what? Yeah. So okay. So start when I walked in, I was like, I was so confused. I was like, what year is it? Year of this because um, animals are all talking in 21st century lingo and slang. Uh, Queen and her daughter all look like they're like Victorian era 19th century, like mid 19th century. Boy is dressed in early 20th century garb. Other townsfolk are in early 20th century garb. I was like, what? What is going on? Like, I was so confused as to where this was. Because it's like, if this is early 20th century, oh yeah, steel warships, steel battleship, and I guess that's supposed to be part of the fantastical part of it or whatever. I was yeah,
Yeah, I
I
don't
was very
know.
I was very frustrated in terms of it's because it's I don't understand why when children's films do this, they're not consistent, and it's like their audience is stupid, and children are much smarter than they give them credit for. They're just in theater. None of them are laughing, um, and that's because the jokes were not funny at all. It was literally like cut away to animals doing thing, and then shot of reaction of boy, and it's
Mhm.
like that's basically all the humor. So, um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
logic
tell it.
was thrown out the window for sure. I mean, there's the polar bear was too cold and he was in a warm climate. They put a hat on him and he was warm, and I was like, "What is
Oh
going
yeah,
on
he
with
was
this
voiced
polar
by
bear?"
John Cena.
Oh
He was voiced
yes,
by
yeah,
John Cena, which was like, oh okay, yeah, sure.
okay, yeah. I was disturbed by a lot of the animals in this movie. The dog, I didn't like the dog at all. The little glasses on him. I
Oh,
don't know.
voiced by Tom Holland.
Of course, yes. All
You know,
these names.
classic. When I think of a dog, I think, man, Tom Holland better be playing that dog. Little Spider-Man dog. Yeah. Tell us about the journey that they go on. Their aimless, pointless journey. I mean, it's not pointless because it ends up being it's basically the most of the movie, but
Yeah, I don't know. They
it's
made it out to be like it's to be such an epic quest and everything, but then it's like it does this weird narration thing at parts where it's like a
yeah.
storybook thing. It's like oh, and then they, but it was like it was like sudden. It was like suddenly they were in this land of with this father, I forget what his name is, but the father of the wife of Dolittle who died, who's like apparently hates Dolittle, but also has animals working under him, and then you're suddenly there and have to wear awful disguises and
And we're there for like half an hour.
yeah, yeah.
I thought this was going to be a get in, get out sort of thing, because like that's like a fun heist.
No, that
And then
was
maybe,
the journey.
But like they're there for like okay, this movie is only an hour and 45 minutes long, and they're in the stupid island for like half of an hour.
And oh man, in Dragon, I did not expect a dragon to come into play. Doolittle shows how good he is because he can treat anything. He can treat the queen. He can treat animals. Dragon, who no one had seen before, he can just treat. It's like, oh, he's got a freaking tummy problem, and he's pulling bagpipes out of a dragon's butt.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
what
we
is going
have
on?
so this is the bonkers scene at the end of the movie. The climax of our film is Dr. Dolittle is performing a colonoscopy on a dragon.
Yeah.
This is the epic climax of the film.
And Robert Downey Jr. really had a whole shot where he was getting blown back by a fart, and like he really had to film that, and he was like, "Yep, this is the movie I'm down for."
So I actually read that a lot of that dragon scene was done in reshoots, which makes
Okay.
me wonder what was the end of the film before.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they thought. I think it was that was it. That was like the jokes are poop and fart jokes. Animals do silly, funny thing and say hip 21st century lingo, and that's it. That's the comedy of this film.
Yeah.
Also, the most uncomfortable love interest thing. Like I've never felt more uncomfortable with two children having like a love interest than I was in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like normally I can kind of just like, yeah, it's just like cute little romance, but like it was so uncomfortable for some reason in this movie, and I don't know why. It might have been
wasn't really a romance. It was just the two kids came together, and it's like we have to have her plant a kiss on him at the end. That would be great payoff. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, classic payoff. Yeah.
So I really wish I was able to bring like my notebook and take notes because there's so many lines I wish I could have written down because I don't remember some of these great lines they had in there. Just outrageousness.
Great in so many quotation marks.
Yeah.
The largest of quotation marks around it. Yeah. Well, there was one that actually made me facepalm, and I don't remember. I remember it was during like the chase, the escape sequence or something, or they're going on the ship. Oh no, it's not an escape. They're trying to get Dr. Doolittle's assistant to his ship before it leaves, and there's some joke that they say in that that was just terrible. That had me facepalm. Throughout most of the rest of the movie, I kind of was just sort of glazed over. There was a brief moment where I considered taking a nap, but then I was like, no, I got to stay awake for the review.
Yeah.
I've got to pull through. Yeah, the whole tiger sequence was just really embarrassing too.
Oh, I didn't like that. Yeah.
No, I didn't like it at all.
He was upset because he was like a previous patient of his before he locked the world out. And then he just rolls over, and I don't know even what was the problem with that tiger.
He had some mommy issues or something.
Yeah, it was like emotional trauma.
And it's like this is just they could have done something really interesting there, where like Dr. Dolittle sort of schemes his way out of the prison, sort of, but like it was just dumb instead.
Dolittle can just diagnose anything. Like he can do therapists. He can act as a therapist, a doctor, a veterinarian, whatever you need him to be. It's crazy.
So I mean, we've already talked about the celebrity voice roles. The child actors were fine, I guess. They weren't really that good, but they weren't
not
like
remarkable. Yeah,
they're not remarkable in any way. How was Robert Downey Jr. is the leading man? How do you think he was in this film?
I didn't really care for it. I really don't like the voice, honestly.
His Welsh accent, his forced, horrible Welsh accent.
because there was like some lines I just miss sometimes, or I'm like, oh, I didn't hear all of that, but okay, that's fine. But he was
Oh,
just
you
very
were saying it was very.
exaggerated. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah, I felt too like too much. It was like it almost felt like he was trying really hard to do like a Captain Jack Sparrow. Like this is got to be a really out there, wild, quirky
Yeah, yeah.
character. He's got to be really interesting, and I'll give him like a Welsh accent because it's interesting. And I read about this like wacky Welsh doctor or something at the same period of time, and it's it. I think it's fine, but like it's also because I think because Robert Downey Jr. is a very talented actor, but it's also like fine isn't enough to say. I mean, even if he had been phenomenal, it wouldn't have saved this movie, honestly. But when you're just fine in a movie that's this thoughtless and boring and devoid of humor,
Yeah, because
it just is.
the writing of his character wasn't even good. I remember. Again, I wish I could have written down lines,
No,
but there's nothing. There was definitely a lot of lines I remember that was like, oh, I didn't like that. That was supposed to be like a
yeah,
that was a nice line, but no, we completely
yeah,
missed the mark a lot of times.
yeah. I really wished. I mean, the rest of the human characters were all kind of like was it Michael Sheen? It's like the mustache twirling or Martin
Oh
Sheen,
yes,
whatever his name is.
yeah,
Was
something like that.
the mustache twirling villain who's chinless, I guess, and that's the whole butt of his jokes. Um, and then we had oh, what's his name? He's another like super talented British actor. He was in like Harry Potter, Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah,
He was like the British Lord he was supposed to be. He was the true villain all along. He poisoned the Queen for some reason. I don't think it was ever really stated as to why
it
exactly.
was so
Because
ridiculous. It was so ridiculous when all the animals came in there. The fact that they didn't have like if you're gonna poison the queen, they didn't have that more locked down where they let those dogs sit there and watch and then guard,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
they let so many opportunities for it to go wrong, you know. And of
yeah.
course the stick, Sticks was his name.
Oh, the walking stick. Yeah,
Yeah,
and after the walking stick says, he then just immediately confesses. He doesn't believe people for no reason at the end. And they're like, no, see, he has the thing with the, and that was the stupidest thing too. He's like, he's got the deadly nightshade in his pouch. He has it in his pocket. And it's like, why did he bring it with him? He poisoned her once. That's all he needed. He didn't need to continue having it along with him.
yeah.
And it was really this. I was just like, this is so sad that this is what passes in these Hollywood executives' minds. This is what is children's entertainment. And that's just sad.
Hmm. And I mean,
Um,
you see that even with animated films a lot. It's like there's so many animated films come out that are clearly like not great, but all you need is to get a bunch of like big stars, big names to attach to it. Like,
yeah,
all right, Tom Holland, Rami Malek, Robert Downey Jr., John Cena, Selena Gomez. Let's get all of these guys. It'll be such a hit. Oh boy.
yeah, and it wasn't. Well, they all cashed a paycheck. I don't. Yeah, I see. That's the thing. I don't fault any of the actors for getting involved because it's like a lot of them use the money that they get from these. Okay, and by the way, this cost $175 million to make.
Yeah.
That's insanity for a
Yeah.
movie this devoid of originality and interesting anything. I mean, the effects were okay. I mean, definitely that's where a lot of the budget went. Clearly, the budget went to effects. Robert Downey Jr. That's
Yeah.
I think that was where that's what the budget went basically, which is funny because he was an executive producer. But
You're right.
but yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it might have gone to him, but I mean, the movie's not making money, so he's not gonna get any kickback from that, really. So yeah, it's just yeah, like you think of like Trolls or whatever, those Trolls movies that are just
Yeah.
like noise and color. Every other illumination film, like Despicable Me, Minions, all movies we got to make it fast and cheap. Am I doing that again? There has been a poor connection this whole
It's
time,
been
which is
really
very
bad,
unfortunate. Yeah, but well, we're bringing the quality of Dolittle. The film is a sponsor of this video. Could you tell?
Mm-hmm.
We're not sponsored by them whatsoever. Yeah. So I was sort of lost in train of thought, but that's okay. This whole movie kind of feels like a weird lost in thought. It just sort of plods along. I kind of felt that it was both horribly underdeveloped and horribly overstuffed at the same time. Like it felt like it was just like there's just too much happening, but also nothing was happening. It was just like sound and color and animals on the screen, and I felt like it was 2.5 hours long, and it was only an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing really there in terms of like if you look at the plot, it's like
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. wants nothing to do with humans. Humans come. Queen of England needs to be saved, so let's embark on this perilous journey to just go get this freaking journal from her father, and then that's it, really. Not much of a journey. So yeah, this is one of the worst movies I've seen in a while. What score would you give it out of 10?
Probably like a 2.
2.
This movie I would not recommend this movie to like anybody. I would never take my nephew and nieces to see this film because they're far more intelligent than that, including the youngest one, who is 3.
Mm-hmm.
They're far too intelligent for this movie. Like this movie is like demeaning. There's something there's a story there. There's a good story to be told, but it just doesn't even try. It just is completely devoid of any interesting things. This is the quintessential January throw it in January film. The studio didn't really have any faith in this movie to succeed, and yeah, I'm sad. This is the first major thing Robert Downey Jr. has been in since Avengers Endgame, and that's really unfortunate. I mean, so I'll read a quote by C.S. Lewis. I'm almost inclined to set it up as a canon that a children's story which is only enjoyed by children is a bad children's story. Yeah. And that sums this up entirely. And I mean, in my theater, young children were barely enjoying this film. There were some laughs at like maybe 3 or 4 jokes, and that was it.
Yeah, I couldn't gauge any of that because our theater was so empty. So, 2 sides of the coin. Yeah, I think it looked like ours was just a couple, like they came in for a nice rousing night of Dolittle. Like,
yeah, I take your dates to this one. You have them running out of the theater.
Yeah, I'd give this a 3 out of 10. For a Tarqaron score of 2.5 out of 10. Never before seen a score as low as this. I agree. There's not many redeemable qualities about it. The 3 out of 10 enjoyment I have from it is it being so bad that it's good. You know, there's a certain charm.
I can't wait for that. I mean, it does get kind of insane towards the end, which makes it more enjoyable, like the whole colonoscopy scene. But
I really hated.
But yeah,
I hated that. And I even hated how the dragon looked. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that dragon design.
it was like super generic, but there was also nothing really that appealing about the look of the dragon either. I agree.
Also, it had like
Um,
redness throughout it, and then once he did the colonoscopy, then it like turned blue. It's like, oh, I'm good now. So
oh
I'm a
yeah,
blue color.
that's stupid. Absolutely stupid. It's like, come on, you gotta do the red and blue trope.
And
You can't just have the dragon still be red.
yeah, I found most of the animals to be cringy. I didn't
Oh,
the whole whale thing where the whale came in and like they set up a harness for the whale to come in and pull the ship. That was
I actually kind of appreciated that. I
oh,
almost felt like that may have been something from the books. I kind of like that. That actually showed some semblance of creativity where the whale was sort of guiding them. I mean,
I did like when he
it's
was oh
completely
jeez.
completely preposterous.
Yeah, I did like when the whale was flipping him off. He's like, "You're flipping him off." That guy's got no chin or whatever he said. It's like, oh god.
Uh,
All right, so yeah, it's 2.5 out
yeah,
of 10. It doesn't no, it's that's low. That's how much lower can you go?
yeah. I mean, we'd have to both be giving ones out, I guess. That's pretty much.
All right, great job, Robert. I know
Yeah,
The Iron Man role's been holding you back for a while. Glad you
yeah.
could
Holding you back from
say.
the art films you really want to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. We're falling apart. All right.